Book of Jubilees, chapter 33, verse 1. And Jacob went and dwelt to the south of Magdaladra. And he went to his father Isaac, he and Leah his wife, on the new moon of the tenth month. And Reuben saw Bilhah, Rachel's maid, the concubine of his father, bathing in the water in a secret place, and he loved her. Now, Reuben is Jacob's son. Bilhah, it says he saw Bilhah, who was Rachel's handmaid, the concubine of his father. Rachel is Jacob's wife. Bilhah is Rachel's handmaid, who is also married to Jacob. They are both married to Jacob. All right, verse 3. And he hid himself at night. And he entered the house of Bilhah at night, and he found her sleeping alone on a bed in her house. And he lay with her. And she awoke and saw, and behold, Reuben was lying with her in the bed. And she uncovered the border of her covering and seized him, and cried out, and discovered that it was Reuben. And she was ashamed because of him, and released her hand from him, and he fled. And she lamented because of this thing exceedingly, and did not tell anyone. And when Jacob returned and sought her, she said unto him, I am not clean for thee, for I have been defiled as regards of thee. For Reuben hath defiled me, and hath lain with me in the night, and I was asleep, and did not discover until he uncovered my skirt and slept with me. And Jacob was exceedingly wroth with Reuben, because he had laid with Bilhah, because he had uncovered his father's skirt. Now, to say that he uncovered his father's skirt is because that was his wife. Regardless if it was his concubine, or regardless if it was not his first wife or his only wife, that was still his wife. And once two are into that agreement and they are married, they belong to each other. If it had been the other way around, it would have been if somebody would have uncovered Jacob's nakedness, it would have still been uncovering Bilhah's nakedness, because that relationship, it goes both ways. It's reciprocal. Verse 8. And Jacob was exceedingly wroth with Reuben, because he had lain with Bilhah, because he had uncovered his father's skirt. And Jacob did not approach her again, because Reuben had defiled her. Now, by approach, I mean he never laid with her again. He never slept with his wife again, because someone defiled her. Verse 9. And Jacob did not approach her again, because Reuben had defiled her. And as for any man who uncovereth his father's skirt, his deed is wicked exceedingly, for he is abominable before the Most High. For this reason it is written and ordained on the heavenly tables that a man should not lie with his father's wife, and should not uncover his father's skirt, for this is unclean. They shall surely die together, the man who lieth with his father's wife, and the woman also, for they have wrought uncleanness on the earth. And there shall nothing be unclean, and there shall be nothing unclean before the Most High in the nation, and he hath chosen for himself as a possession. And again, it is written a second time, Cursed he be who lieth with the wife of his father, for he hath uncovered his father's shame. And all the holy ones of the Most High said, So be it, so be it. Verse 13. And do thou, Moses, command the children of Israel that they observe this word, for it entaileth the punishment of death. And it is unclean, and there is no atonement forever to atone for a man who hath committed this. But he is to be put to death, and slain, and stoned with stones, and rooted out from the midst of the people. For to no man who doeth so in Israel is it permitted to remain alive a single day on the earth, for he is abominable and unclean. And let them not say to Reuben, to Reuben was granted life and forgiveness, after he had lain with his father's concubine, and to her also, though she had a husband, and her husband Jacob, his father, was still alive. For until that time there had not been revealed an ordinance and judgment and law in its completeness for all. But in thy days it hath been revealed, as a law for seasons and of days, and an everlasting law for the everlasting generations. Verse 17. And for this law there is no consummation of days, and no atonement for it, but they must both be rooted out in the midst of the nation. On the day whereon they committed it, they shall slay them. And do thou, Moses, write it down for Israel, that they may observe and do according to these words, and not commit a sin unto death. For the Most High, our power is judge, who respecteth not persons and accepteth not gifts. And tell them that these words of the covenant, that they may hear and observe, and be on guard with respect to them, and not be destroyed and rooted out of the land. For an uncleanness and an abomination and a contamination and pollution are all they who committed on the earth before the Most High. And there is no greater sin than the fornication which they commit on earth. For Israel is a holy nation unto the Most High its power, and a nation of inheritance, and a priestly and royal nation, and for his own possession. And there shall no such uncleanness appear in the midst of the holy nation. And in the 3rd year of this 6th week, Jacob and his sons went and dwelt in the house of Abraham, near Isaac his father, and Rebekah his mother. So that was Jubilees chapter 33, verses 1 to 21. I wanted to read this and just to talk about some things that I've witnessed, some things that I've seen. Mainly about how there's this trend, or it's becoming commonplace, it's becoming every day, where you're seeing stepsons wanting to have sex with their stepmothers, or stepfathers having sex with their stepdaughters, or any combination of the four, I'll say. Even to the point of blood relatives being sexually attracted to each other as well. All of these things are, I don't want to say being perpetuated, but they're certainly becoming normalized and commonplace, along with the plethora of other things. And those things are abominable. We live in a time where we believe the world that we dwell in is separate from the earth that is spoke of in biblical times or in canon. But this is the same earth. This is the same rules apply, and is governed by the same power. Now, if people of other nations are doing those things, so be it. They will, like that will happen as it happened. But if people of Israel are doing the same thing, it's worse, because you're now missing out on an inheritance. You're missing out on your priesthood. They didn't have those things coming for them anyway. You had this coming for you. Don't fall victim to lust of the flesh. We can't fall victim to lust of the mind and lust of the eyes. We got to be disciplined. We have to take control of ourselves. Till next time. Peace.